On this quiet neighborhood street sits a park with a ball field. As the neighborhood kids throw, catch, and run around this perfectly manicured infield, they are oblivious that the Woodbury Parks Maintenance Division is out there every day getting these fields in perfect playing condition.
On a daily basis, we groom 49 fields around home plate in the pitcher's mounds. Typically are the areas that need the most attention, so those usually require you go back over them several times. The route will generally take about 7 to 8 hours a day to do.
On summer evenings, this little field of dreams comes alive with young ball players dreaming of playing for the Minnesota Twins. However, there are other children in the neighborhood who dream of being part of another team, Woodbury Public Works.
Here's a baseball field.
He's always had tractors. He will just spend hours playing with that.
3-year-old Ben Capecchi is one of those dreamers. Armed with a fleet of tractors,
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
he meticulously grooms his own ball field in his living room. And just as those ball-playing kids have their sports heroes, Ben also has a favorite on his local team.
Mr. Richard.
Every spring, when we see Mr. Richard, then we know it's springtime and the kids can go out and talk to him.
How many ball fields he already swept?
102.
Mr. Richard is a Woodbury seasonal employee who doesn't quite groom 102 fields, but he does do several, including Fairway Meadows Park, which sits across the street from Ben's house. So every day, beginning in the spring, his John Deere comes roaring down the street, signaling Mr. Richard's arrival.
It's Mr. Richard.
And then it's off to the park to watch the show. Ben studiously watches Mr. Richard as he drives his tractor around the infield. But this is more than a childlike fascination. It's a true relationship that began innocently enough one summer day.
Ben and his grandma were over here at the playground, and they were kind of looking at me and interested in what was going on. They would wait for me at the point at which I would exit the field. I would get out and acknowledge them, and that's how the relationship grew. Oh, you've got a John Deere tractor shirt? That is so cool.
He'd taken his toy tractors and show Mr. Richard, and Mr. Richard showed such a nice interest in Ben and just gave him time, which was nice.
Right.
He's just such a kind man and just very sweet and soft-spoken, and you could tell that he just appreciated us.
Okay, I gotta knock the dirt off the back of the tractor, right?
Yeah.
That's what I gotta do next?
Our entire family is really grateful to have somebody like Mr. Richard in the community, taking a minute to talk to Ben. Like, those are the types of people in your neighborhood and in your community that you really appreciate.
Behind every tractor or mower in the parks, there is an operator like Mr. Richard. They are dedicated to not only making the parks look great, but to improving the community as well.
I don't think we always pause to recognize people like Mr. Richard and all the women and men who put a lot of effort in every day to keep our city a great place to live in.